What's good? The family was good. Appreciate each and every one of y'all for catching the playback on this joint. Appreciate you chiming into it, man. Just got a little open court run. No, not too many topics on hand as far as like coming up with it. Definitely accepting topics and to come with it. If you're catching the playback, you can leave that in the comments, and I'll be sure to respond to that as well. I'm very active in the comment section, so definitely feel free to chime in there. But yeah, man, I just wanted to touch base with my peoples, discussing basketball, man. And like I said, it's open court, so we're gonna talk about a little bit of everything. We can talk about, the Steph Curry effect, what he doing. My man D Free in the building. Salute to you, bro. Appreciate you stopping through. My bad, I was late. Let me get you right real quick. Um, Naughty boy, man. Appreciate you stopping through, D Free. Sorry, my son just threw some water. um, Yeah, man. But like I said, just wanted to have an open court, talk a little bit of basketball, a little bit of everything. The Steph Curry effect, having his first game back at the Chase Center has been quite some time. I think it's been like a month or so for him. So y'all definitely can expect big things. Shout out, Allah, salute to you. Appreciate you stopping through. Like I said, just doing an open court. So if there's any topics y'all want to talk about, any specific players, anything like that, definitely let me know. Hit me in the comment section. If anybody want to come up, let me know. I'll pin the link in the chat as well. But just wanted to touch base and again talk this here basketball with y'all, man. I know there's a lot going on. A lot of play again, like I said in my last live, people dealing with injuries and they trying to fight through the injury bug and get back on the court so they can put on for their team. It's crazy. Again, like I said, in my other live, yeah, it was the last time you didn't see this many injuries happen, I mean, in one season so quickly and over and time again at that. You know what I mean? I don't remember the last time we'd ever seen a situation or a case where every other week or every other day you got a big name or a star or a player that's out. I personally don't remember a time, but we can cook on all that, man. We can cook on all that. The MVP race is tightening down. It's tightening down. It looks like Jokic might be what I'm saying, probably one of the few three time MVPs of the league. The way he's leading his team and where the direction they're headed, and obviously being the number one seed in the West, things like that. It's tough. Definitely tough. It's hard to argue against that. You know what I mean? When you're the number one team in the West, and he rarely ever had misses game or has missed a game, it's hard. You know what I mean? His availability is second to none, and him just being able to go out there and produce for his team and how important he is and how valuable he is to that team is insane. Without him on that team would not be the same at all. You know what I mean? It would definitely be the Jamal Murray show and the Michael Porter Jr. show, but at the same time, it wouldn't be the same. Because Jokic is that one person on that team that it's rare for a team to have an answer for it. You know what I mean? It takes a talent like Anthony Davis or Joel Embiid to kind of deal with Jokic from that standpoint. And even then, they have some trouble doing that. You know what I mean? Because he understands how to use and utilize his body, spacing, change of pace, and everything like that. Again, we all know he can't jump over a phone book, but hey, underneath that rim, you know what I mean? That man's a beast. You know what I mean? He averaging pretty much a triple double for the year too. So a lot of people kind of sleep on that, man. But you know what I mean? Like I wouldn't be hard pressed or nor surprised if they decided to give Jokic, you know what I mean, MVP this year and maybe a three-time MVP if that was to happen. I wouldn't be surprised by it, but you know what I mean. I would say it's well deserved. But the only thing I kind of have an issue with is the hype they're putting behind the fact that he is averaging a triple double. You know what I mean? We obviously we saw Russell Westbrook do that, and obviously it's much harder to do it at his height. So that's the part I'd say I find very hard to believe, and them trying to hype it as much as they are is the fact that what I'm saying Russ averaged a triple double for multiple years. You know what I mean? So it's like I don't know why they sitting there acting as if like there's something they ain't never seen before. You know what I mean? Quickly in the building, salute to TWT in the house. Let me get you right real quick. But yeah, I don't know why they acting as if they ain't never seen this before. You know what I mean? We done seen this before. But it's just I guess you can say it definitely takes a lot of skill when you're a center doing this. and versus a Westbrook who was a guard. Obviously last person to average a triple double was Oscar Robertson, who had some good size on him. So I wouldn't say it was easier, but being having a bit more size, but having the guard skills, I mean, it's a little bit easier. But Russell's, what I'm saying, he a dog. He's out there getting after it. You know what I mean? Case of Boy in the building, TWT in the house, man. Let me get you right real quick. Appreciate you, Case of Boy. I know you at work. Get you right. I appreciate you, Kay. Be safe out there, man. He said I'm at work, but I had to come in and show some love. But I do have one thing to say: Lakers suck. Come on, man. Well, I'm not surprised, man. I'm not surprised. I knew he was gonna throw a jab at my team, man. I knew he was gonna throw a jab, but salute to you, man. Appreciate you showing up and chiming in while you're at work, man. Don't work too hard out there. Make sure you stay hydrated so you don't get dehydrated, and definitely don't smash the fingers. I say that much, man. But yeah, man, it's one of those things. Like I said, man, when the Big O averaged a triple double, it wasn't much, people had to say about it. I mean, not say about it, but people they didn't really, speak too glowingly or highly or make a big deal out of it. When Russ did it, obviously, again, in his situation on his team and the guard and being, things of that nature, yeah, it made a big difference. You know what I mean? Big difference. People went crazy about it because Durant just left him. So Russ, what I'm saying, he channeled his inner Mamba mentality and he went off. He showed what he could do. I mean, he led his team the best he could. Um, but like I said, it's just seeing Jokic do it. You know what I mean? Because it kind of looked like one of, I wouldn't say one of them kind of things like that, but um, at the same time, people are making a bigger deal out of him doing that. Which again, that's no issue, no slight or anything like that to it. It's just one of those things where it's fine. I don't have an issue with it. Here, yes, Daddy. Thank you. Yep. I don't have an issue with that. Him doing that, and again, his team. You see, obviously, they're the number one team in the West, so he doing what he got to do, and it's resulting in wins. So that's obviously the plus. That's the good thing on it, man. So shouts out to him, shouts out to them. You know what I mean? But does anyone look at the Denver Nuggets as being a threat to win the NBA championship? I guess is the question I'm gonna ask the chat. Do y'all think that the Nuggets got an opportunity to win the chip, or do y'all think it's gonna kind of be the same situation with what happened when Melo and Iverson and all those guys teamed up or I think Chauncey was there for a bit too. Chauncey when they all were in Denver and they had championship aspirations, but it fell apart. You know what I mean? Like it's just they had a good record and everything, but when push came to shove, and had to run into another top tier team in the West, what I'm saying, they got knocked out. So what I'm saying, what's y'all take on that? Y'all think the Nuggets gonna be able to make a deep playoff push, or do y'all think it's kind of gonna be the same situation as we saw from previous years, where they have a great record, but when playoff time come and they get knocked out? What y'all think? I'm curious because I know me personally, I kind of seeing almost the same thing happening again, unfortunately. I just feel like there's teams that can match up well with the Denver Nuggets. And what's very strange about this, I don't know why it is. It seems like every time the Lakers play the Nuggets, the Lakers wake up full effect, and they didn't knock the Nuggets off the last couple of times they didn't play them as well. And it's weird. I mean, I don't know how to explain it. It seems like they have the Nuggets number for some odd reason. Again, like I said, it's a weird thing. I don't know why, but maybe I'm just thinking about it a little bit too much. But I know when I watch it, it's a different type of energy and atmosphere that goes towards it. When I ask people to let me know about Lay, they say, "Hey man, that thumbnail, your thumbnail, bro." I'm like, "Oh yeah, man, I had to go old school with it. I had to pull up that draft year, man. I had to let them know if y'all can read it where he told him. He said, said, what I'm saying, they ain't coming, they here. You know what I mean? They got next." Or ready or not, here they come. Yeah, that Slam Magazine joint, bro. I had to let him know, we ain't here as some young guns just focusing on this new age basketball, man. I'm old school with it as well. You know what I mean? I wouldn't say a vet, but definitely seasoned with understanding. I understand how the game works. Have a true love and passion for the game, so I appreciate it, man. So it's like I'm able to watch games that other people wouldn't watch. My brother Southern T in the house, salute to you, bro. Let me get you right real quick. Like I'm able to watch games that other people wouldn't watch. You know, I'd be the person watching the Spurs and Houston Rockets game. I'd be the person watching, you know what I mean, the Charlotte Hornets and who else, man? Or the Hornets and the Hawks game. Like, and that's no slight or disrespect to the Hawks or anything like that, but they're not doing too good right now. So like I said, I've watched those type of games. I would say the Thunder, but and again in the West, man, all these teams are all within 5 games. Or I mean, from pretty much from the man, hell, I might as well go to the second seed. From the second seed all the way down to the 10th seed, they're within 7 games of each other. I mean, that doesn't it sounds like a lot, but in reality, we've seen teams run off a quick 5-0, 5-0 run and things like that, or go on a 3-game losing streak and stuff like that. So none of that stuff is surprising. But those teams like the Spurs and the Rockets, we know they're again no side of disrespect. We know they are the bottom tier teams. So when you're watching a Pistons game or a Hornets game or heck, I'd even say I want to say even the Magic, but it's like again those teams they have some good solid players in those teams who entertain it. So for me personally, I watched and will watch any NBA game that's on, no matter the conference, no matter the team, just because each and every one of those teams have a style of basketball you can either learn from it or you know what I mean you can look at it and say oh man, this is terrible basketball. You look at it and say, oh, you can be calling out things they could be doing, the backdoor cuts, you know what I'm saying, running the baseline. It's like, bro, you running a high low. What are you doing? Like you get to see a lot of things from I guess from a fan perspective on TV, but when you're at the game, it's different. You know what I mean? They may not have that same you know what I'm saying, line of sight for that person that's cutting to the rim or that person that's wide open. They might not be able to see it. And again, you got to either play the game or be at the game sitting courtside or close to understand what it is that I'm talking about. But don't worry, y'all. If y'all stick around and y'all continue to follow A1 on this journey, man, I'm definitely gonna shed some light into it and to make sure you know what I'm saying you well versed in understanding what you're watching, and then definitely gonna try and do my best to keep my content at the level where you appreciate it and you'll it'll bring you back to basketball if you don't watch basketball. So definitely the mission at hand and the task that I want to do, man, is not turn everybody into an NBA fan, but at the same time let them know, hey, it's all right to be a fan. It's all right to have your fandom. It's all right to be able to look at it from one more than one point of lens. You know what I mean? Case of always say Houston versus Detroit. Yeah, yeah, them type of games, Kay. But I think the messed up part about it, man, is that I mean, you look at Detroit. You know, Kate Cunningham being out, and then Bagley was out for a while. So like, you got a lot of people that's on that team that's still just trying to get their NBA, you know, what I'm saying game time legs under them. But at the same time, that takes time. So, and it's like in the NBA, man, these games this season have went by quick. It's done went by extremely fast. A lot of people ain't even paying attention to that. I mean, what were we? We're almost 70 games into it. You know what I mean? I know what is it? The Nuggets are already 67 games in. So I mean, we're almost 70 games into the league. So it's coming down the home run stretch where obviously playoffs are around the corner, so teams are starting to tighten up. Hopefully, we get to see a healthy NBA playoffs. I'm praying that's the case that we get to see all these teams healthy, so we can see some true competition where we're not seeing teams, taking L's due to the fact that they were unhealthy or coming into they hobbled into the playoffs hurt and things like that, man. I'm really hoping that ain't the case because I know that that's been the case the last couple of years, and as far as when the playoffs have come around, is that um, when the playoff time did come around, you had teams hobbling into the playoffs and dealing with injuries, and I'm hoping that's not the case this time around. You know what I mean? But it looked like it is going to be the case because you got Braun banged up, and again, Lakers right now we're in a nice seed, so obviously could be in a play-in situation. Or most likely going to be in a play-in situation. You got KD again. He should be back well before the playoffs start. But just in case he isn't, again, he's coming back. Trying to get his legs back under him and get back right with the team, build that chemistry there. Who else, man? I know Jaylen Brown is over there dealing with a little something with the Boston Celtics. So it's like man, every team unfortunately is dealing with some type of little nagging injury or a serious injury where it's like, it's kind of, I wouldn't say slighting their team, but at the same time, it's not allowing their team to be the best of who they best version of themselves. Like the Warriors, for example, I mean, you got Steph that was out for a while coming back, and then Now it seems like they're having chemistry issues. You got, what I'm saying, situations there, and then you got obviously the Grizzlies missing their major key star that should be back there soon as well. John Morant. We all know what went on with that situation again. Hoping that he's back and get his legs under him, and he's able to go out there and showcase his talents once again. And then obviously, John or not John, obviously Zion being in a situation he has going on. So it's like, man, Brandon Ingram on that team with them as well. It's like it just seems like there's a lot that's going on, man. So I'm like, what's really going on with the situations? My brother just doing the building, man. Salute to you. Appreciate you stopping through. Let me get you right real quick. And let me say this, man. Do y'all think that a lot of these injuries are happening due to the fact that these players are getting so much time off that it's not allowing their bodies to stay in tune with the fact of them being in a rhythm. You know what I mean? A lot of these players are rhythm players, and we're seeing a lot. They're them either missing games either due to injury or rest time and all that kind of stuff, or not having as many practices and things like that. Like, do you think that that's one of the reasons that they are having these type of injuries? I know Paul George mentioned something of the sort about saying that not playing as much, people think it's a good thing, but it's actually a bad thing because it's not allowing their bodies to stay locked in like it needs to be. Case Woods said, hell, this year every team has had someone hurt. Yeah, that's a fact, man. That is absolutely a fact. My brother AB in the building, man. Salute to you. TWT in the house. Let me get you right real quick. Yeah, Case Boy said Draymond causing turmoil. Yeah, that's what a lot of people are saying, man. Definitely a lot of people were saying. My brother Jeff Deuce said that's exactly what I think. They want so much time off that they need game shape, and yeah, that's a fact, man. That's almost, as y'all would say, that's the same thing as boxing, bro. When you having those huge layoffs, what's happening? You know what I mean? It's leaving them vulnerable to go out there and have ring rust, and then any given night having ring rust, bro, you can end up getting checked out, and then that could change the direction of your career, in a heartbeat. You know what I mean? How many fighters have y'all seen where they came in on an off night or came in off a layoff and they was never the same, or that what I'm saying, they career kind of spiraled out of control from that point. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's a prime example of that. I probably would say hell, Adrian Broner, unfortunately, prime example of that with Maidana. But back to the basketball though, man. It's like I honestly think, bro, that they should continue practices and go off of using the data that they've had in the past. And what do I mean by data in the past? Do y'all remember this many injuries ever happening in recent years, or even past recent or past years, as far as like major players dealing with injury? You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, they got to look into that, man, because this is insane. I don't remember the last time I've seen it happen this much. Um, so yeah, it's one of the things, man. We're going to have to see, some type of adjustments that can be made, whether that be from the teams or the league itself. I know that they were mentioning that the league was talking about for overtimes, instead of having unlimited overtime, they were want to have a target score or target point, kind of similar to how the NBA All Star game is, where let's just say the target point I think this year was like 175 or 180, some crazy number like that, and that's the target score. Once you hit it, the game's over. And I'm like, that'd be the stupidest thing ever. And again, no disrespect or anything, but I think that's the dumbest thing they could do, which is bring a target score to a regular NBA season type situation. That is a terrible idea. Why don't mess with the foundation of the game as far as allowing overtimes to happen when you're trying to cap it and have an actual target number. You know what I mean? I think that probably will drive teams to compete a little bit more because they understand that there is a target number. But at the same time, man, like, do you really want to put that type of pressure on a regular season game like that to have a target number if it goes into overtime? I know y'all are trying to drive up, what I'm saying, the scoring, which we've seen some outrageous scores this season. I mean, hell, I forgot which game that was. It was a 175 to 176. And that was a regular NBA season game. It went into overtime or double overtime, but it's like, at some point, bro, like we the fans, or the true fans that understand basketball, appreciate a game where it's in the high 90s. You know what I mean? We're fine with seeing a game like that because I mean there's some defense being played. Obviously, some shots got to be missed and to tie into that, but defense goes into that as well. That mean there are people contesting shots in order for them to be missing them like that. So it's like for me, um, absolutely, absolutely need to see it. You know what I mean? I miss seeing defense. I miss seeing people getting that defensive stance. You know what I'm saying? Slapping the ground or just D'ing up full court, half court. You know what I'm saying? Like there's all type of things. I miss just seeing people play defense and appreciating defense as much as they appreciate offense. Nowadays, it's all offense. It's all gas, no brakes, and it's like that's cool at times, but that's gonna get tiring. You know what I mean? You're gonna get tired of seeing all gas, no brakes. You need to see a change of pace within the game. You need to see some solid defense being played. You know what I mean? You need to see teams showing a hunger that they you know what I'm saying, they're about that on both sides of the ball. You know what I mean? But we don't really get that. We don't get that at all. Case for which the team will break 200 soon. And I think if that happened, okay, I probably will stop watching basketball. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Ain't no way. There ain't no way you should score 200 points. Absolutely no way. If one team scores 200 points, that game better go into quadruple overtime, or it better go to overtime 5 or 6 times or something. And even then, that's tough because you know they're gonna be tired as hell. Excuse me, 'cause that's gonna take a lot. But if a team just, you know what I'm saying, just pop off 200 like that, yeah, nah, bro. I'm gonna go ahead and throw in the towel. My fandom from that point is gonna be non-existent. You'll catch me watching retro games, them hardwood classics and things like that. That's what I'll be watching. ain't no way I'm gonna watch a game where a team is putting up 200 points in the regular season or in a game period. Nah, I'm good. I have zero interest in seeing that. But I know, like I said, for me, I appreciate defense. You know what I mean? I look at defense the same way as I look at it as a Steph Curry. You know what I'm saying? Pull up, no look 3 pointer. You know what I mean? I look at that same way as LeBron tomahawk dunk. I look at it the same way as Dame. You know what I'm saying? Dame timing on some boys. Like that's how I look at it. I appreciate defense and I want to see defense. You know what I mean? I just don't want to see just strictly all offense. Case of what said, hell, I never thought two teams would go over 170. Hey, that makes two of us. Like I said, they went into, I think, double overtime. Maybe no, I think it was just double overtime. But yeah, that's tough. That's absolutely tough. I mean, no defense is being played. I think going into the old days, man, you'll see a double overtime and hell, the score end up being 115 to 120 or 115 to 110. You know what I'm saying? That's the old days when deep, like I said, teams appreciated and played, you know what I'm saying, defense. And I think the NBA, man, they are definitely um, they're flirting with potential you know what I'm saying, losing a potential selective crowd of individuals, man. They're going to lose a targeted crowd. You know what I mean? They're going to lose that crowd that was born in the 80s and maybe even early 90s, but more so in the 80s. You know what I mean? 80s and stuff. Like, they're going to lose that particular group or segment of fans, man. And it's like the reason why. Bunch of great vlog. Salute to you. Appreciate you stopping through. They're gonna lose, you know, us as a fandom in that selected '80s group because I'm an '80s baby myself. But they're gonna lose us, man, because again, the game is trending in a direction that a lot of us are just looking at it like, hey, man, we're getting away from basketball, and we're getting away from appreciating the game itself. And what I mean by appreciating the game itself is you're seeing players low management, arrest management. You're seeing players just all like, you know, what I mean, taking days off and all that when they're getting more days off naturally as it is. Um, and you're seeing things then that's just not in line what you know what I'm saying what we're used to seeing. We're used to seeing, you know what I'm saying, your favorite players playing all 82 or 84 games. We're used to seeing them play, if not 82, 84, they playing 70 plus. You know what I mean? We're seeing them going out there and competing each and every night. We're seeing them actually treating the game as if, you know what I'm saying, they know there's a young fan or a family that's in the crowd that saved up every penny they had just to come out and have a one-time experience of seeing an NBA game in person and seeing they, you know what I'm saying, they favorite player. You know what I mean? And you're getting people that don't care about that. You like absolutely not caring. And you're right, Kay. Nowadays, it's a 3 point shootout. You're absolutely right. Everybody want to shoot threes, 1 through 5. All of them are jacking up threes. Every single one of them. And it's like the three. That's cool. But at the end of the day, man, like when you when you doing the stuff you're doing, you still need to stick to appreciate the basis and fundamental of the game. Hey, them 2 points is just as valuable as them 3 points. You missing up for them. You missing up for them 3 pointers, and they racking up 2 pointers. You gonna find yourself down 20 before you know it. And then you're gonna be trying to get yourself in the rhythm. Like I told everybody in the previous slide, bro. I'm like, the way you get to your rhythm and find your flow is either getting to the rim or getting to the free throw line or starting out the mid range. Those are the three things that can get you into a rhythm and flow, because it allows you to find, you know, what I'm saying, that shooter's touch. And if you don't play the game, you know what I'm talking about when I say that. But I know for me, I always started out attacking the rim first. I never went and just the first shot of the game for me was a D3. I never did it just because like it's just not a rhythm. I understand the layup line and you warming up as part of that, but it's different because when you're warming up, the ball that you're going to be playing with might not be the same ball that you got into a rhythm shooting with. So it's better you to get the feel of the ball, see how it is. You know what I'm saying? Go up, get a shot, get a layup, get an easy bucket, get to the free throw line. So again, you can get just into that rhythm. Where I'm at, this is where I'm gonna get to, and this is how I'm gonna do it. Like that's something that you definitely want to do as a basketball player. But a lot of people be sleep on that. A lot of people think these people just, they just go out here and the first shot you see they come down, they just launch a three. And it's like, all right, when you start off a game, when you start off missing your first 6 shots or something like that, and you having a terrible shooting night and you hoping to shoot yourself out of it, what I mean, you're gonna be struggling. You're gonna be having issues to do it. Did he poop? Yeah, right on the couch. Oh my goodness, this kid, man. Um, my bad, y'all. Potty training my son. He over here. Oh, over here, potty training him, and he had no diaper on. I had him running around with no diaper on because I was trying to get him to poop. And he decided he's gonna poop in an area, one of his little play areas and stuff. Come on, man. But yeah, my bad, y'all. Back to what I was saying. Though, it's like it's just appreciating the fans, man. I think that's the overall message that needs to go out to these players. Just appreciate the fans, appreciate the fact that our fandom and what we're doing. Like I said, the game is headed in a direction, bro. Where if they don't be careful, they're gonna lose a whole segment of fans. You know what I mean? Because we used to seeing a certain brand of basketball, and the brand we get now is all targeted towards the younger generation. And what is the younger generation like? They love that Steph Curry effect. They want threes from the logo. They want threes from half court. They want the three no look. They want to do all the fancy and all that stuff. And it's like, y'all do realize that ain't working. What you gonna, what do you revert back to? You know what I mean? What do you do? So it's like, yeah, man, it's like you gotta let these young folks understand and know how the fundamentals of the game first, and then allow them to make a decision, which direction they're gonna head their game or mold their game after, instead of them just thinking it's gonna be one sided or one way, which is all threes from deep and stuff like that, man. Casey Winston, everybody on my team does that and come in and shoot a three. And if y'all ain't sure what we're talking about, man, Casey Way, we're playing in a TWT NBA Fantasy League. And yeah, man, Casey Way team, I don't know why. Every single time they come in, you know what I'm saying, just jacking up threes, you know what I'm saying. He look up, he got three people, they got -2 or -1. He said, how the hell they going negative? He check and see they already 0 for 2 or 0 for 3 from the 3 point line. And it's like, hold on, man. Like, what are y'all doing? Like, that's why I said, man, they gotta understand. Get to the rim first, get a mid range shot up, and get to the free throw line. So then that way again, you give yourself a chance to get into a rhythm. So that's just the old saying. That's just how my coaches used to tell me. You know what I mean? That was what we practiced. That's what we focused on. And that was one of the things I just also internally just always knew and thought about. I like to get into a rhythm first before I start venturing out and start shooting threes. That's what I like to do. So, but yeah, man. Like I said, it's definitely one of those things where I just wanted to open court, open run, talk about anything basketball. I didn't really have one specific topic. I just wanted to talk about the game itself in its entirety. And we seeing a lot of basketball being played, whether it's good or bad or indifferent. We seeing a lot, and we seeing teams that's in positions that I personally can honestly say I wasn't expecting. Like honestly, I did not expect to see the Sacramento Kings being the two seed in the West. Absolutely something I did not expect whatsoever. Another on the flip side of that, all the way down towards the bottom, I did not expect to see the Trailblazers being the 13th seed. I didn't expect the Pelicans being in the 10th seed. No disrespect or slight or anything like that, but the Jazz, Thunder, Spurs, and Rockets, not too I wouldn't say not too surprised, but at the same time expected more. Jazz specifically just because they have a team that can play extremely up tempo and they should definitely be a higher seed. I know they started off hot, they dropped off and they came back and then they dropped off again. So it's just one of the things with them, man, where it's like, like it seems like they just can't catch a break. I would say. But then, you know what I mean, when I look at it and think about, let's just say for example, like definitely surprised about the Timberwolves being in the 8th seed. Surprised at the Warriors in the 7th seed. Mavericks is the 6th seed. I would think they would be like a 4 or 5. I expect the Suns to be kind of where they're at. Obviously, if they had KD earlier in the season, I would probably say they would be the number 1 seed in the West. Um, but again, the Clippers, I think they're right where they're at. Grizzlies, I think, are right where they're at as well. So not too many surprises there. Lakers, I mean, hell, we've been injury littered all season. Dealing with that and just trying to battle things back from a team perspective. So no, again, no surprise with that one. But if I switch over to the East though, Bucks, Bucks and Celtics Bucks, Celtics, Sixers, and Cavs are head and shoulders above the rest of the other teams in the East. Like I don't really see no other team that's being a true threat to any of those 4 teams. Like I don't see not one team that's in the East that's a true threat to them. Only team, if I was to really throw one out there and say, or two, well, actually, I got 3 teams that I could say on any given night if the matchups are right and their teams are healthy. I think the Wizards could give them any of those teams a run for their money. I think who else, man? I think the Nets, just because again they have a young, wiry, fast, up tempo paced team, and then I probably have to go with the Heat as well. As the 3 teams, I would say, when healthy, they can definitely push any of those 4 teams to a tough series. Knicks, mm, a lot of if there's some Knicks fans in here, I apologize. No slight of disrespect, but I don't really see the Knicks being a true threat to any of those teams in the East like that. Definitely a team that's playing good basketball or the ability to compete. But as far as when it comes down to being able to actually go in there and see one of those teams knock them off, I don't see that. Brother 88 Sports in the building, man. Salute to you. Appreciate you stopping through. I don't see the net or the Knicks being one of those teams that is a threat. They don't represent a threat from an aspect of playing in one of those top 4 teams in the East. Like they'll have some tough games, but as far as them being a threat to that team and being able to actually win a series, I don't see it. I mean, it'll probably be a tough out or whatnot, but I don't see them being able to beat any of those teams. That's just my take. No slight of disrespect to any Knicks fans or any New Yorkers out there, but that's just how I feel about it. And then who else we got, man? We just gonna go down the line of them as well, man. So I would say the Hawks. I think they missed their golden opportunity. You know what I mean when they kind of surprise caught they caught the 76ers by surprise. You know what I mean? I think after that they kind of missed their golden opportunity at being able to really. Uh, they missed their golden opportunity to really be able to go out there and surprise some teams. I think teams are up and up on them right now, and they know, you know what I'm saying, they know what to expect from them as well. Uh, so stop eating that. Come here, man. Come here. You know what I mean? They know what to expect. Um, they know what to expect from the Hawks. And then obviously, as I called it out earlier too, any Hawks fans, and I think me and Casey Boy was talking about that when they were saying, what the hell's going on with the Hawks and the situation with Trey Young and this, that, and third. And the thing I said is, I said one thing they'll do is the Hawks are gonna make a coaching change. Why? Because the players are more hard to come by. The coaches are the ones that always pretty much are the easiest scapegoat to happen. So then what happened? Shortly after that, boom, they let go. They got rid of their coach. Again, I wasn't surprised by it at all, but definitely expected it because, like I said, anytime when you have a situation between your star point guard or your star player and the coach is they always going to choose the player over the coach because they feel like they can patch in any coach. The player is the one that's the true investment, you know what I mean, to the team. Like I feel like that's the case with them. Who else we got, man? The Raptors, I would say probably more disappointing. I'm not sure what's going on there, but I did drop a short recently. Definitely go check that out if you haven't seen where Fred VanVleet was absolutely firing up the refs, giving giving his take, and he didn't mince words. He didn't mince words. He definitely reach on move to. Okay. He definitely wasn't shy about it, and he let it be known exactly how he felt. Hey, don't chew on that, guy. No chewing on it. He didn't mince words. He let it know how he felt, and he let the refs have it, man. Like I said, if you didn't see my short I did on that or dropped on that, go check it out. And when I tell you you're gonna check it out, you're gonna be laughing because you're gonna be like, hold on, man, this can't be real. Like you're gonna think somebody had dubbed it or was lip reading or voiceover or something like that. No, that was him. And I know he got smacked with a hefty fine for what he was saying. You know, you criticize the refs. I think it's either anywhere from a $10,000 to $25,000 fine. I can't remember. It might be 30. But in the case of what he was saying, that they probably gonna get him with a 50 or $75,000 fine, whatever the max fine is you can get for criticizing the refs publicly. He gonna get it. 'Cause he was man. And let's just say this, man. If that was a boxing fight, that he was throwing what he was throwing wilder right hands, and all of them was landing. I'll tell you that much. He was throwing some wilder right hands, and all of them was landing. And that person wasn't guarding up. That person wasn't blocking them. They weren't parrying them. That person was eating all the wilder right hands. That's how that's how that's how hard he was going at the refs. Let's see who else, man. Who else we got in the East that we can say? I mean the Bulls. I feel bad for them, man. Not sure exactly what's going on with Lonzo. At this point, I know he's out for the season, but it's like, man, yeah, I just hope he figure it out. But if they was healthy, they had Lonzo, they got everybody else, man. This team is absolutely underperforming. Even without having Lonzo now, they're still underperforming. There's no reason why they should be an 11th seed, especially being in the East and the roster that they have. They should absolutely be at least in the top six, top seven at the worst, but top six. Like I don't know why and what's going on there. So don't be surprised if you see a coaching change there. Not hoping it, but definitely don't be surprised. Um, Absolutely do not be surprised. When you got DeMar DeRozan, Zach LaVine, and Vucevic, and then you have man, like you have Alex Caruso, you have a whole bunch of people on this team that can absolutely play, and for some reason they're just underperforming. And like I said, a lot of that goes to what? That goes to the voice in the locker room. When you lose the locker room where they don't respect you, what happens? You know what I mean? Then your locker room falls apart. People start doing their own thing, and that's when you start seeing bad basketball being played from a whole team perspective. You start seeing selfish basketball being played, and I think that's what you're kind of seeing right now. So don't be surprised if you see a coaching change with the Bulls. Other team man, Pacers, yeah, Halliburton, Buddy Hield, Miles Turner, and the rest of the young guys. They're not sure what's going on. Personally, I have no clue. I know Miles Turner wanted up out of there for a little bit, and then it went back to him saying he's staying committed, he's going to stay, and then he wanted out again, or he was asking to be traded to the Lakers. It's a whole drama there, man. So obviously that's affected the way he plays in his game because he used to put up numbers and be one of those people where it's like, man, we're going to go play against Miles Turner. We got a game plan for him. Now it's a thing where he's just one of the others, which is unfortunate. Magic, I expect the Magics to kind of be where they are, but I know that they've also been dealing with a lot of injuries. But man, that Magic team, they are tough, 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 man. Paolo, the Wagners or Wagner, however they want to pronounce it, Cole Anthony, Bobo. I know they got rid of Mobamba, but he's with my Lakers team. But that Magic team there filled Markel Fultz still, and I'm happy to see Markel Fultz out there putting on and showcasing his talents again. But man, that whole entire team is so youthful but skilled and young, and man, that team's gonna be scary next year if they're all healthy, and then they obviously build off of that. And let's just say they get a veteran or two in there to kind of help with certain things like that, man. That team, that team is going to be dangerous, man. Absolutely dangerous. Hornets, again, they've been injury riddled like crazy the entire season. They gave up, I believe, one of their best big man players that kind of fit in perfect with that team. And Plumlee, I was extremely surprised they got rid of Plumlee, to be honest with you. But that team is still, again, they got Gordon Hayward, they got Terry Rozier, LaMelo is out. He has to have surgery on his ankle. PJ Washington is still there, and then they're waiting to see, what's going to happen with Bridges. You know what I mean? He's been out all season due to his off-season situation that took place. So we're gonna have to wait and see, what's gonna happen. Are they gonna release him, or did they just suspend him for the entirety of the season, or what's gonna happen with that? If he comes back, he brings a different dynamic and element to that team as well. So again, it's a lot that goes into it, man. And that same can be said probably for every single team that's in the NBA is, if only this person was healthy or this person was here, what I'm saying, they would impact the team differently and things of that nature. I think for the Spurs, I can't say that. Yeah, it don't matter who on that team. And that, again, that's no slight or disrespect to them, man, or anything like that, or Popovich. But yeah, that team can be fully healthy and it won't make a difference, man. They just don't. It's just not a good team. It's not a team that can compete at the highest level. And again, that's no slight of disrespect to them, but I mean, if you only won 17 games, that speaks for itself. Same with the Houston Rockets. Um, Houston Rockets, young. You can tell those teams. You can tell that. Get up, move, come on, move out the way. You can tell that both of those teams are young. So that's probably why. That's probably why you're seeing the type of record that they have. Spurs having 17 wins, which I would think that Popovich should be able to at least pull out 30 wins. I would say on a bad year, he should be able to pull out 30 wins. Like I feel like he should be able to snag 30 wins at least. Um, Popovich should be able to pull out 30 wins at least. You know what I mean? That's how I feel. But the Houston Rockets, them having 15 wins, I'm not surprised by that. Um, Not a bad team, just young, and they play young basketball. Like you can see, some of the times when you're watching the games, they're playing extremely young and fearless and things like that. And it's like, yeah, that can work in your favor at times when you're playing like, what is it? God, I'm trying to think of the word I want to use for it. When you're playing that type of basketball. It's not carefree necessarily, but when you're let's just say when you're a rookie going out there, you don't know any better. So what are you gonna do? You're not aware of the situation that you're in, so you're just gonna keep playing basketball and fight through it. You know what I mean? So that's one of the situations with them, man. So that's what I see from them. But it's unfortunate. 15 and 51. It's like they didn't have some tough losses, but at some point, man, you can only have so many tough losses. Like, there ain't no reason you can only win 15 games, you know what I'm saying, in an NBA season that has like 80 plus games. Without doing that, that just means, you're a bad team or you play bad basketball. One of the two. That's what that means. But yeah, man. I didn't want to do it, but I kind of ran down the list of teams that's underperforming, and also just the fact that on those teams, the players and stuff is just, yeah. We've seen, on the other hand, we've seen the Oklahoma City Thunder. Now they're not a bad team. They're just not a team with a bunch of big marquee names. The only names I should say that people are more so aware of is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Josh Giddey. You know what I mean? Those are the two names that when you think of this team that comes to, what I'm saying, comes to mind right away. Those are the two names that pop up immediately for everybody, I would think. Now, if you're more of a Morrow fan and kind of deep dive into it, you think of Dort, and then you think of the Williams, which they have two people, Jalen Williams and Jalen Williams. The Jalen's are spelled differently, obviously, but it's just funny that they have two people with the same name. One is a guard and one is a big man. He's like a forward. So it's like it's good that they have different positions. They have different positions and different expectations of it. But it's just funny that when you think of you're in practice and somebody like Jalen, they got to obviously have different nicknames. They got to go by something else. So then that way there ain't no confusion that's taking place and happening. Um, but I would think stop, play room, stop and play room. I would think for me, the team that I think I would expect more out of and would hope to get more out of is the Trailblazers, led by Dame. He's one of my favorite players to watch. Been rocking with Dame ever since he got drafted.
play stock. Okay, ever since he got drafted by Portland, was definitely one of those one of the players where I kind of kept an eye on and loved the progression of his career with there and staying loyal to the soil with that team. Hopefully, you know what I'm saying, it don't come back to bite him in the butt, man, and he don't go down in history as one of those players that stuck with one team, but then it didn't, you know, it just didn't work out in his favor. I know that was going to be the case with Kevin Garnett, but you know, so the Timberwolves did him a solid. You know what I mean? They sent him to the Celtics, and guess what he did? He won a chip. And Minnesota, they celebrated as if they won a chip just because they, you know, they knew that KG was everything Minnesota, everything Timberwolves. That's one thing they did know. So I'm hoping that's not going to be the case though for Dame, where you know if he may need to go somewhere else to win a chip. Obviously, he want if anybody you know if him have a championship team, he prefer to you know send the team be brought to him and not him going to a team. You know what I mean? But I'm hoping he gets a ring or two in his career. Me personally, I think he's well deserved of that and everything he showcases and does and everything. I hope he gets him one. But as far as that team, I mean, it's not a bad team. It's a pretty good team. You got Dame, you got Anthony Simons, who I think personally is an upgrade from CJ McCollum. That's just my personal opinion. And then you have Jeremy Grant, good forward. And then you have obviously their big man that that continues to stay hurt and Nurkic. But when he's healthy, definitely one of the best big man true centers that we have left in the league. Definitely is a talented big man. And then, you know, what I'm saying the bench, they have a decent bench as well. Not noticeable big names, but I know they just picked up Cam Reddish, and you know he's out there still trying to find his footing and things. But again, it's not a terrible team. It's a good team. It's just front load heavy. That's one thing I would say, which has always kind of been the case. They've been front load heavy ever since the days back when like you know Damon Stoudemire, Rasheed Wallace, Ruben Patterson, and the so called Kobe Stopper, Zach Randolph, Sabonis, like back in those days, man, where they had true depth to their team. The Derek Andersons, the again the Bonzis, the all those players. That's when they had true depth on that team, where it was like you know there obviously you had the names that stood out, but you also had people that could come off the bench or the others, quote unquote others, that could come in and contribute and make a difference and have a true impact on the game. And I feel like that's what the Trailblazers are kind of missing right now. They have a bunch of young players that they have a bunch of young players that's on the bench that I wouldn't say inexperienced, but they're just young, and so they don't really know any better, or they're not able to go out there and make the impact as the same thing as a veteran could, or you know somebody that can truly come off the bench and make that true impact. And I think that's missed. And so for Portland, again, I know that they deal with a lot of injuries, but again, there's some games that they're winnable that they just lost. You know what I mean? So it's a lot that you know they got to stay focused. They got to figure it out. Um, and then I would say, let's see who else, man. Who else is? I mean, the Pelicans. Yeah, I don't have too much to say about that. They've been so injury littered and reliant on Zion is ridiculous. So without Zion, that team's not going nowhere. With Zion, you know, sky's the limit. It's very cut and dry. It's not no reason to make it overly difficult or anything like that. That's just you know that's just what we know and what we see. So, but yeah, man, that's the coverage of just talking about the teams. Let me know what y'all got in the chat. If y'all got something else y'all want to cook on. Otherwise, man, I'm gonna let everybody give everybody back they Saturday. Um, hopefully, it's not snowing or no bad weather where you're at. Here, where I'm at in Minnesota, it is snowing again. So I have to break out the shovel once again. I mean, at this point, I think I'm probably gonna just call myself Mr. Shovel. Definitely don't want to buy a snowblower just because it's been oh yeah it's been enough where I can definitely utilize a snowblower. Don't get me wrong, but it's kind of you know it's not it's few and far between times where you really need the snowblower. You know it hasn't been that much, but lately past couple months, man, it's been so much snow. It's insane, y'all. Like it is insane. It might be time to up and away up out of here, man, or at least from the season standpoint go away when it's winter and come back when it's summer, kind of kind of thing, something along them lines, man. But yeah, y'all let me know what y'all got in the chat. If y'all ain't got nothing, man, I'm gonna go ahead and slide up out the way. I know there's some fights on that people may be watching. I heard that some of them were terrible, so they weren't gonna be watched. So all depends, man. But I'm gonna definitely get out the way, let everybody else get to it. Um, my brother Just Do, if he's still in the building, you going live today, or are you just doing a marathon for the fights tonight? I know everybody waiting for that Tony Harrison fight to come on. I know I'm waiting on it to come on too, see how he performs and does against Tim Tszyu. Should be really good later tonight. And I think that's the only boxing fight. I thought there was a UFC card, but I can't even remember. I know I watched that John Jones joint. Was excited to see him back out there and performing. And I mean, it was a quick fight, but then again, man, it was just good to see him back out there. He looked healthy, strong, mentally healthy as well. So very happy to see that. I did see something though, a funny little post about it saying that John Jones tested positive for having skinny legs. And I was like, oh my God, man, they not gonna let this man live at all. They not gonna let this man enjoy no part of his victory being a heavyweight champ, man, what they call in the UFC GOAT. They just gonna have to find something to get on him about. But yeah, man, dude, if you still in the chat, bro, let me know. Are you going live anytime soon? I know he was in there. He was in there for a minute. I know T was live for a little minute. I don't know if he going live or not on his end. I know earlier he said he was stuffing his face, so he probably still eating. He said he had them French toast sticks from Burger King. Them joints is good, man. Hey, I gotta be careful. You gotta be careful. I don't eat fast food like that, but man, them French toast sticks from Burger King, and they fresh. Them joints they taste so good. I gave my son some for the first time. My 2-year-old son, I gave him, let him try that French toast stick. I ain't never seen him so focused on eating and so quiet and just like patient eating, man. That was like the funniest thing I've seen. Yep, he like them, clearly. But yeah, man, like I said, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna get my butt up out the way. I appreciate each and every one of y'all coming through, showing love in the chat. All the TWT fam, appreciate y'all being in there, man, being active. But like I said, we're gonna try and focus on being consistent. Today was just literally just a burn, just going through, giving a take and take on the team, on the NBA and teams and things of that nature, the underperformers, injuries that happen, everything and anything and everything basketball. So just wanted to cook on that a little bit. Again, this was just one of those ones where no topic was on hand, just because we already had cooked on and talked about the whole job situation. We touched on all the hot topics. But one thing we're not gonna do on the channel, man, we're not gonna gossip. We're not gonna spread rumors. We're gonna stick to the facts. We're gonna talk basketball. We're gonna talk in the purest form. We're not gonna make up stuff, and we're not gonna sit there and be, what I'm saying, what the mass media is, man. And we see what they like. They like to go out there and put narratives and all that kind of stuff. We're not doing none of that. We sticking to the purest form of basketball, the purest form of fandom, and understanding and appreciation of it, man. But with that said, like I said, if ain't nobody in the house, y'all ain't got nothing for me, man. I'm gonna drop my brother G5 joint that he dropped off to me to play that joint, man. Then we gonna slide up out of here. Y'all tune in for this cold TWT little outro for my peoples. Hope y'all love that joint there, man. And we out. Appreciate y'all again, man. I'll catch you on another one.